Imagine being a student with dreams of building a better life in the United Kingdom, only to find yourself caught in a web of deceit and exploitation. Well, that's a tragic reality for many international students who were promised jobs in the United Kingdom's care industry, only to be left with nothing but worthless visa document and shattered hope. You're watching Times XP and I'm Dhriti Atri. Now, many students from countries like India, Nigeria and Philippines come to the UK hoping to find work and support their families. The UK needed workers, especially in the care homes, and welcomed people from other countries to help fill these particular jobs. Now, this opportunity seems like a dream come true for thousands of students. Unfortunately, some people saw this as a chance to take advantage of the students' hopes and dreams. A group of dishonest middlemen pretended to be a real job agent. They told the students that they could get them a special certificate that would allow them to get a skilled worker's visa and work in the United Kingdom. But there was a huge catch. The students had to pay a lot of money for these particular certificates, sometimes as much as £17,000, even though these documents should have been free. Now the students, desperate for the chance of work, paid the money and waited for their visa. But when they applied to the Home Office, their applications were rejected. The certificates they had paid so much money for were actually fake and worthless. The students were left without a job, without a visa, and without the money that they have saved or borrowed to pay for the fake paperwork. Now, the man behind this scam was named Taimur Raza. He worked out of the West Midland and made himself look like a businessman. He rented offices and even hired staff to make his scam look legitimate. He promised the students jobs in care homes and visas to stay in the UK. Now, for a while, this seems like he was keeping his promises, as few of his students did get a visa and jobs. But most of the students who trusted him were left with nothing. Raza sold 141 fake visa documents and made £1.2 million from this particular scam. Only few of these documents were real and the rest were worthless. Meanwhile, the students who gave him their money were left stranded in the foreign country with no job, no money and no way to go back home. Now, as more and more students realized that they had been scammed, they came forward with their stories. They had all been promised the same thing, a job in UK and a better life. But instead, they were left with nothing and were too afraid to go back to their home and face their families, who had sacrificed so much for them to have this opportunity. Now, the scam didn't just take away the students' money, it also destroyed their dreams and left them with desperate and hopelessness. Now, the students have come to the United Kingdom to build a future, but instead they found themselves in a nightmare. Eventually, the authorities find out about the scam. Raza fled to Pakistan, where he denied any wrongdoing and even promised to return some of the money back. But the damage is already done. Many students were too scared to even report the fraud because they feared that UK government would deport them. Now, this case is now being handled by the National Crime Agency, and they are trying really hard to recover some of the stolen money. Meanwhile, the community groups like a Sikh temple in West Midland are helping the victims by exposing the fraudster and trying to get the students' money back. Now, this story is really sad and a reminder that sometimes when you are chasing a dream, you can fall into such traps. It's a story of hope that turned into despair because of the greed of few people. While efforts are being made to bring those responsible to justice, it's certainly clear that more need to be done to protect vulnerable people from falling into such traps in the future. For more such videos, do follow TimesXP.